right? So to give you a little background about myself, my mother was a college professor, father was a CPA for the IRS. I grew up in upper middle class, west side El Paso. I went to Coronado for people that know what that means or have some sort of, I always get the Coronado, oh. You know the Coronado, oh. Or Franklin, oh. You know, that kind of, mm-hmm. So that was me. I don't speak Spanish. I don't particularly like Mexican food. You know, I have a really, really small family. You know, for the longest time I was the only child. I attended private school. I went to St. Clement's, which is a predominantly white school. So that now I can see the whole class got really, really silent the second I said I don't speak Spanish. Was there a narrative that started to build? I'm not saying good or bad, but just did your narrative start to change? Yeah. So this is my reality, right? This is how I have been interpreting the world. Now, move me to Oregon. Now, part of my job was to work with racial minorities, specifically the Hispanic population. Now, the Hispanic population that I worked with predominantly came from the migrant fields. Predominantly came from first or 1.5 generation status. Spanish was often their first language. So put me next to them, what is the narrative that is already being told about me?
You know Spanish. You're able to work the word natively.
Even being interviewed by the committee. I talked about my own reality in growing up. Yes, I grew up in El Paso, and kind of Spanish is in the air just constantly, right? But it doesn't mean that I speak it. I can kind of get it, I can kind of understand it, but don't ask me to say anything. Like, I can ask where the bathroom is, and that's about it. I can ask for enchiladas, and that's about it. You know? Seriously. But the fact that I'm in Oregon, which is predominantly really, really white, and when I say white, I mean like really white. But I'm one of really, really few racial minorities, specifically Hispanic. And so there's this identity that is being formed around me. Now again, for me being Hispanic here in El Paso, there's like a lot of us that look kind of like me, right? So I don't really think about it. I think back to the fact that I don't speak Spanish a lot, but that's more language. But the Hispanic thing, eh. But moving to Oregon, I'm like, oh, you're Hispanic. Like somehow you're from exotic, and I have to touch you, like, no, anyway. So that's the idea of saliency. So again, getting back to my idea of Oregon and El Paso, the fact that I'm gay is kind of important to me here in El Paso, because we don't talk a lot about being gay issues here in El Paso, right? We don't have a really strong gay community in El Paso. When I moved to Corvallis, Oregon, again, population 50,000, the fact that I was gay, not even a blip on the radar. They're like, yeah, 10 other people in this room are gay too. Like, and there's talking about it, and you know, my relationship with, and my partner of, and you know, it's just not a big deal. Not that people are scared of talking about it, but there's a lot more open atmosphere about it. And so the fact that I was gay in Oregon wasn't really a big deal for me. The fact that I'm gay here in El Paso, I'm much more aware of what my safety surroundings are and where I'm at all times. Cool? So that's where you talk about saliency. So another way I'd like to put it is, anybody been to the eye doctor? Okay? Do you remember which lens is more clear? Lens 1, lens 2. You can think about saliency in that way. Which becomes more clear in whatever situation you're given. Right? So the fact that I'm a man, don't think about it a whole lot. Put me in a room or an elevator full of women, there may be a chance that, oh, I'm the only dude in here. You know, that may become more salient at sometimes. Cool? So now we're going to play a little game. No, there's no winner. No, you don't get to Hula. Cool. So I want you to stand up.